Well, good afternoon again. It's another Sunday afternoon ride around the lake to see how things are now. I put a new clutch in it last week. I think I mentioned that previously. It was running a little rough, and I knew I didn't have the carbs balanced quite as well as I liked. So I bought a carb tune. I'll put a link to that in the description below. So I resynced the carburetors. Took all of about 10 minutes. I should have filmed it. I didn't. But we're out for a ride today. I took a small rip around the neighborhood this morning. It seems like it's running really smooth now, way better than it ever has. It turns out carb 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right, as I'm looking right now. Carb 1 was running a little bit more vacuum than carb 2, so carb 2 is your reference. So I dialed that one back down a little bit. Then I took a look at 3 and 4. Of course, I bought, with the carb tune, I have 4 channels at once, so I was looking at them, and it was like, I fired up the bike, absolutely obvious. 3 and 4 were way off. So I dialed in 1 or 2. 3 and 4 were exactly even, but they were probably, I don't remember if it's milligrams or whatever the vacuum number is. It was like 12 on 1 and 2 and like 40 on 3 and 4. So I dialed those down immediately. It was better. I put the air screws all the way in, took them out a turn and a half to get it going good. I took it for a rip this morning, like I said. Then I realized it had a little bit of a stutter. Right around 2,000 RPM, just a hint. So I went 4, 3, 2, 1 down the I guess it's the idle air screw mixture, backed them off a half a turn. While I was listening, you always listen to see if the RPMs increase just a little bit. You don't want to go too far because then you're just dumping gas through. But I got those balanced and took it for another rip, no problems at all. So I'm out for a test ride now to see how well everything runs on a longer run. Obviously this thing has run great. You don't need a carb tune or balance when you're running up on the main jets, just dumping all kinds of fuel through, so it's really not an issue. But the telltale is here, when I pull in the clutch, it idles down. I have it set between 1,500 and 2,000 just to make sure I have enough. I'll tweak it down a little bit more later. But it idles right back down within a couple of seconds. That's normal. And again, cranking up to 60 at 5,000, no problem at all. I also put a new drain on the bottom of the tank here. Since it has a cover, there's a hole in it that goes a drain tube, so if you spill under the cover while you're filling it, it doesn't run all over back down on the seat. So there's a drain tube that goes down through. I had forgotten to put that back in, so I'm glad I took it off. I went down to the hardware store, bought a brand new one today. Fits good, runs right back down, dumps out below the level of the bottom of the muffler, so there's no real chance of getting anything to start on fire there. But the tank was professionally sealed. It was called Tank Renew of Minnesota. They did a really good job. I brought the tank there in bare metal. When I picked it up, it looked like crap because it had been sitting out in a humid shop. Bang, butterfly to the face. But of course that surface rust, cleaned it right off, painted it myself. It's a base coat clear coat. It's a 2K clear coat, so it's good paint. But it's a rider, so it's, you know, if it's got a couple of bug chips or a rock chip, I don't care. But we are running really good here. So when we get home, I'm going to see how far down I want to set the idle. It's about 16, no, it's about closer to 1,800 RPM. I think, you know, they say run them at 1,100. I think 1,100 is too slow. It doesn't sound right. It sounds weird. I don't like these carbs anyway. Clutch is really good. I'm not good at rev matching, as you can probably tell. So coming off the curve, nice and strong at second, third, fourth, and fifth. There's probably a little more carb tuning that could be done on these. I mean, every single part inside has been cleaned. The jets are a little fatter than they should be. I got a 4-into-1 exhaust, and I was told, number one, I was told don't use AirPods on these things, which is absolutely the right move to not do that. I tried. I didn't listen. It didn't work. So I put the airbox back on with a K&N filter. So the main jets are normally 102s. And they said you go up 4 sizes for the 4-into-1 pipes. I don't know why that is that way, but I did it. And then they said you need to go 4 up, an additional 4 for the AirPods to even have a chance. I didn't want to go that far, so I went 2 up for that. So I'm 6 over. I'm at 108, I believe. I'll have to look at the receipt when I get home. It's a little too fat, so that's probably why it's running a little bit faster. I can dial it down. But it's a balance between the AirPods, or not the AirPods, the main jets and the idle jets. There's always a little bit comes through the main jet at idle. More so, I've been told. If it wasn't such a pain in the butt, I would take them out, take the carbs out again, and put them back down to like 106s. Try that. Maybe back it down to 104. It had 102s in when I got it, but it hadn't run for years. And the guy I bought it from said when he got it from his uncle, so it was still titled under the original owner. The guy I got it rode it from one house in St. Paul when he moved to his new house up north of the Minneapolis area. I don't remember the name of the town. And he put it in the barn and never moved again. So he said, oh, I shut off the fuel and I take care of it, and I pulled it apart and it stunk so bad you could hardly stand it. It took me an entire winter, many trips through the bath, right, the ultrasonic cleaner, to get all the crap to stop flowing out of the venturis everywhere. But they are clean. I've had them all run wires through them or whatever. No, I don't run wires through the jets. I don't want to damage them. But I got all new air cutoff valves. The only thing I don't have is what they call the Son of Satan SOS, which is the it's the fuel pressure sensor pump thing, which doesn't work well at all. So I'm going straight from the petcock right into the 4 carb bank. I was going to put an inline filter, but there is no room for anything like that on this bike. I suppose I could figure something out, but you make too many loops in the circuit and then you end up with it vapor locking or not enough fuel delivery, whatever. So anyway, it runs good. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, I'm keeping it. It's a fun ride. Like I said, I'm in my 60s, so it's not the most comfortable ride. I have to a little bit shorter seat, but a little bit less padding than the standard one or the original. Oh, it's bumpy here. So it sits lower. I'm a short guy. I'm 5'7", so my knees are bent pretty well here, but it's okay. It runs good. Drives down the highway like a dream. If I were to keep it long term or decide to do that, I would probably want to do something different with the handlebars. I got some, I guess they're called drag bars. I like the looks of the smaller bars, but it's a little bit of a stretch. I have had some back problems, so it's not fun. There's no way I'd ride this thing 100 miles. It would make it, no problem, but I won't do it. I wouldn't make it. If you want a bomb around town bike, this is a good one for you. Or especially if you're doing commuting and you don't want to spend a ton of money on a bike. No, this is not a sales pitch. Just me rambling. It's pretty solid. I like this one. I just pulled in the clutch. It's idling down. It's idling down to about 2K. That's a little bit fast. Okay, now we idle down to about 2K. Here we go. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Nice and smooth. Through a neighborhood here. I'm gonna see if I can reach my hand in there without burning it half to death. Set the idle down just a touch. It's running smooth, but I don't like it there. It's too low. There we go. That's about right. I think, anyway. All right, we're good. Thanks for the ride.